What's going on, everybody? I have the house to myself, so I'm going to do a 20-minute logo design challenge with Prudential. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I was browsing through some articles here, and I came across this one that says 10 brands that need rebranding. And number 5 on here was Prudential. So let's take a look at this. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm just going to kind of scan through it. So if the general public has to Google a portion of your logo to understand your business, you have a problem. The namesake Gibraltar isn't mentioned in its logo or any of its materials. It seems to have been forgotten. The main thrust of Prudential is their strength through time, but if you have to explain the logo, you have a significant brand weakness. Now, I do agree with some of this right here. You know, when you're working with a rock or whatever it is, especially something with a rock specifically, that's hard to communicate through a logo. But I do think that a rock is a good symbol to communicate strength. So let's get started in here. And actually, so I have a couple of tabs that are open here, and I'm gonna take a look at their current logo, and let's just go ahead and drop this into the file that I've created. Scale it down just a little bit. We don't need it that big. So, and I also want to look at their logos through time. Okay, so that article mentions the Rock of Gibraltar, and to me, this clearly communicates a rock of some kind, or maybe even a mountain. You know, this part right here, you know, that's obviously a rock, and this right here could easily represent water or something like that. To me, it looks like a good, strong foundation. So let's, I think that we do have something that is already here. It just needs to be retooled and refined a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and set a timer so I can get started here. So 20 minutes, I got 20 minutes to go. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the parts of this logo that I think work. So the first thing I'm going to grab, I do like the fact that it's in a circle. You know, that's obviously something that is easily made into an emblem. So I'll do that and grab this color. Let's just bring it back for a second. I want to grab the color itself. Okay. And now I can take this and take it back down to 50%. Sorry if I'm moving so quickly. I'm trying to utilize the time as much as I can. So 10 point for that. I'll go ahead and lock that. Now, let's go ahead and grab the parts of the rock that I think work well. I think that the overall shape of the rock works really well. So let's grab the outline of that. And I am not going to be pretty about this. I'm just going to go all the way to here. And then we can add in, you know, some of those more detailed things right here. But even if you were to do something like this, you know, I mean, it's pretty ugly. Now that I look at it, I was going to say it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's pretty ugly. So what we should do is I do think that this piece works really well. So let's go ahead and grab this, and we can go straight line down right there, and then a nice angle there, and something like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off in this direction and keep just that portion. And then I think that we can go down here and maybe grab these two. So like this one and then the one to the right. I think that the combination of these can easily be made into an emblem or a symbol, you know, that's easily, you know, stamped on something or included on stationery or something like that. All right, so let's bring that back, and let's go into our outlines real quick so we can see this. And let's go ahead and subtract from here, and let's see how it looks standing on its own. Let's unlock that real quick. Okay, so I actually really like that a lot. I think it looks really nice, and it still communicates what you're wanting. However, I do believe that this right here, maybe this should be more like this, not so close to the edge there. So let's kind of bring it up just a little bit. And you still want it to maintain the flow of the circle. Okay, so I think that's good. All right, so I'm gonna grab the stroke right here, expand that. Now it's all one shape. So I think that actually looks really nice. Now, as far as the type goes, type is always a challenge, especially when you're doing a rebrand, and especially when you're using something like a serif type, which I do want to stick with. But I saw this one here, and I actually thought it would work really well, especially in all caps. So one of the things that you'll notice is if you look across the top of all of the type, I really like how everything lines up with this particular font. Everything across the top is totally flat, so that signifies a strong foundation. If you want to throw in a little bit of BS there, but I think that it works really well. However, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make all of this just say 70 for now, and then I'll take this up to maybe 80. I think that works. And then let's just set our kerning before we do anything else. Okay, that's looking good. I love that R, the little curl on the end of that R. It's really, really nice. Okay, set all of our kerning. Almost done. I want to match that one there. That looks good. It's a little bit too close. I just want to give a little bit of breathing room there. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this, I may want to go a little bit larger, maybe up 5 more points. Okay, I think that looks good. Okay, so I like the way that kerning is right there and how that appears. So I'm going to set this off to the side just in case I want to come back to it for any reason. Move this over here. This, I can create outlines. And let's bring this maybe down to 1/2 inch, and then maybe an inch or so. That way we can get it to where it's proportioned with each other. It's a little bit too far away. Let's bring it down. Yeah, I think that works well. All right, so let's enlarge it. See how well it works together. Okay, so I really like this a lot. I think that this is definitely an option that they could go with. One thing I might do in here is to kind of thicken this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's better. This right here is a little bit too thick, so maybe I'll bring it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I like this. If I were to refine this a little bit more, maybe it's not very often that I suggest changing colors, but I might do something. Let's do something a little bit more drastic. Maybe like this dark of a blue right here, because I think that, you know, the fact that we've got a rock inside of our symbol there, you know, they're using light blue, which is fine. I don't have anything at all against light blue, but it's kind of the opposite of that strong, firm foundation, you know, like a lighter color with a strong foundation and purpose. So I'm going to try a dark blue and just kind of see how that looks. And then maybe like a mid-range blue, like maybe something in the middle. Okay. So I actually like that. So in my opinion, you see this color a lot. You see this color a lot. You don't really see this color that much. So I think I'm going to go with that one. And I'm gonna make my artboard a little bit bigger. Let me check on the time. How much time do I have? Oh, okay, good. I've got 12 minutes left. All right, so let's do this. I'd like to do a second iteration of this using this type, but I want to try something that I had an idea for just a minute ago. What if you were to take this right here and kind of put it, maybe possibly put it inside of the P, at least the top of the mountain there, or the rock, whatever it is. Oops, I don't want to do that. And you know what? I'd like to get those back. So let me cut those. And I wonder if you could put it inside of here. Okay, and we've got those, and all you have to do here is fill that little gap in right there. Interesting. Okay, I think to some extent it works, but I think this may be too distracting for it, so we may be able to just do this. It is interesting. However, it's a possibility that it may be just bleeding right into that too much. What if we tried a different color for that? Bring this to the front. Or that's nice. I like that right there. However, you know, the rule is when you're doing logo designs, it's got to work in black and white as well. So I think that it's probably just blending a little bit too much, especially when we go into here. And if we were to change all of these colors to this dark blue, I think that there's something missing from it, and I think I know what it is. Let me try something real quick. Okay, so I want to isolate just the counter in there, put this back in, and then maybe highlight it like that. It's a possibility. Or go in and do something like this, where we take this and we add a little stroke to it. Maybe of that same color. Shoot, that's not what I wanted to happen. Okay, let's try this. And bring the stroke forward. All the way to the front. Okay. Or you could make it white. That's interesting. I think it needs to be at least 0.75. Okay. So, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And let's go in. I think I've got time to do this. Basically, just gonna go in and clean it up. So expand that. And now we'll just separate everything. Get rid of all the white. Check my outlines real quick. this is the kind of thing right here. This is the part of logo design that is extremely tedious. So just going through and making sure that you've got all of these shapes and they all flow the way that they're supposed to. You know, you don't ever want to deliver a jagged logo to a client. You want everything to be nice and complete and clean. Okay. So select all of this and go into our shape builder. Bring all these together. I think that we'll go in. Yeah, there's definitely more to go in and cut out. So we'll go ahead and take care of those. That should be everything. Let's grab this little guy around here. Okay, and then we should be able to combine those. Cut this one out, because that's what's creating our dimension there. All right. So for something like this, I think this works really well. We've got the rock inside of the P. I think that's an interesting concept. And then the P right here by itself stands on its own. You could easily do that as, you know, you could put that on stationery, you could put that on all kinds of printed materials, and I think it would look really nice. Okay, so here are the options for colors laid out. That's right, I didn't do it on that one, did I? That's fine, not a big deal. Let me just do this. Like I said before, if this were an actual client, first off, I wouldn't be taking a video of it and putting it on YouTube, but I would definitely be spending a lot more time refining this if this were a real paid project. But I think that overall, I think this looks good. Nice, strong type. We've got the rock represented inside the P. That's can easily be changed or easily be reduced down to like a watermark image or a favicon for web. So you could easily do something like that. How much time do I have left? 4 minutes. Okay. Let's see what I can do in 4 minutes. Let me look at, this is something I haven't even looked at yet. I want to see if there's anything in here. I like that. That's interesting. That's very nice and minimal. And throughout all of their time, they've always had that rock in there. It's interesting that they do I like this sans serif that they went for, in the, right here through the 40s. That's cool. And I do like this one as well. They've always had that rock in there, so there's not really much that I can draw from. And the logo itself, man, that same rock has been there since, 1950. Jeez. Well, what if... You know what? I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do something real quick. Hang on. What if we did, like went the Hewlett-Packard route and just did something unbelievably minimalist? It might be a little bit too minimalist, but I think that, you never know. Let's just have fun. we could pretend like it is 2015 and just do this. Wait, let's get, yeah, here we go. Helvetica bold. Because you know that if they had rebranded in 2015, they would have gone something like this, and just slapped Helvetica on it and called it done. Those lines are not at all spaced out the way they should be anymore. Not even sure that that doesn't really represent the rock anymore at all. I was just kind of going for maybe something like that, but yeah, this is. Or you could just rotate it like that. It's possible. It could be like an abstract version of it. And while I've got the time, let me try to do a little bit of kerning here. Okay. Well, I think I think it looks nice. It may not exactly represent. Oh, let's not do that. Those accidental keystrokes there. It doesn't represent the rock exactly, but you know, whatever. We're just having fun, right? So we'll make this emblem 1.5 inches, and then the overall height of this can be 0.875. That sounds good to me. And there's my timer. You know what? I know it's over, but the only thing that I want to do left here, is get those other logo choices in there. So let's go ahead and just copy, paste those. Selected the wrong color. Okay. Now let's go with the darker one. All right. So here's the heavily 1950s inspired one with the very simple lines it's kind of representing the rock, maybe a little bit, or not at all. The version here that actually has the rock inside of the P, this is probably my favorite one. And then keeping the same basic overall shape of the rock, but really updating the type. So, all right. Well, that was fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again. So definitely let me know which one you like best in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button. That way it'll keep these videos coming straight to you. Thanks, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.